Okay. All
So we
right.
are
Well,
now
then,
recording.
okay, I'll call the meeting to order anyway. Um, we don't need any introductions and skip the approval. We might as well go right on to reports, Pat.
Okay, so I think you all know we successfully went through the budget process. We're in line at this point for recruitment for our new position over in youth services. Really would like to get that person on board before the beginning of the school year. Just so they can kind of start off right. It would be good to have them in here a little ahead of that so they can orient, get used with kind of the administrative school staff as well as the, our staff, and just kind of get a feel. Kelly started on the run, and which is not always the best way. So we're hoping we can get someone in. We did have some really great candidates next time. I'm hoping a couple of them, a couple of those ones that were so good apply again, because it was really on the top three, it was really more of a fit feel than all three of them were pretty qualified to come in and kind of hit the ground running. So the town created a new position. Dorothy, our administrative specialist, was moved into that role of community assistant programs coordinator. And we're currently in the process of recruiting to replace our administrative specialist. So we are still in transition in the department, but in a good way. We're happy that Dorothy got that position. She's been doing a lot of what's in it already. So that would really free up our administrative person to be more able to support the other functions within the department. That's going on. I don't know, Ethel can always comment on Human Service Advisory and give an update since she chairs that committee as well. So there's some exciting things, happening with that committee. And, as far as budget is concerned, we're right on line to finish, in a good place with budget, and we're moving forward with a bit additional funds into this next year. We're happy, to be moving in the right direction as far as that goes. One of my big jobs is going to be trying to figure out where we're going to put a desk for the new person. But that's a good problem to have. So I'll be working with the town manager, to kind of figure out some things. They at least have to, although they're in the schools, they're going to continue to be in the schools more this next year. We still need a place for someone to land over in our office as well. So, I'm working on that. And unless you have any questions, that's pretty much, we're in a great place. Campership, our campership program is taking off. Dorothy's coordinating that because she's coordinating our regular campership program, the fee waiver program, the state money that came forward through Parks and Recreation, as well as the Helping Hands program, which is going in its last summer of existence. That program will be ending when the money runs out, or the end of December. So way we're looking at projections right now, they're probably going to run out of funds in October. That's what it's looking like right now. So, but with maybe a final distribution that's done a little differently, more toward the holidays, when we find out exactly how much money is left in that. So that's where we are right now. Any questions?
Just for clarification, Pat, we didn't do formal campership this year. The campership's the case by case basis, correct? If folks don't qualify for whatever reason for Helping Hands.
Correct. And again, they're going to be directing people to what makes best sense. If they've run out of funds, there are still campership funds available. I don't want people to think that isn't the case. For those situations where people don't fit into any other category, we do still have campership funds. We're just trying to make the most for the families with the money that's available. So for example, they come to campership first. Helping Hands is much more generous. It actually can pay for the whole summer. Every dollar we spend on them in campership funds gets subtracted from their Helping Hands grant. So, we're just trying to work out on a case-by-case basis, which is better. I can tell you for families who are looking for camp for the whole summer, Helping Hands is definitely going to be the way to go. So, the good thing is it's all in one place now. Dorothy's managing all of that, so she can go through each program with each family and then kind of guide them to what makes the best sense, because it's complicated.
Well, anybody got any questions of Pat? Okay, Katie, why don't you go ahead?
So I know I was a little later than usual sending you out our activities report because it was a very busy week last week, but good busy, very good busy. So our staffing update is that we are fully staffed, and Lonnie's been an amazing addition to our team. We're so excited to have her. We're excited to see what happens when the recruitment comes through. Our interns from this past year have wrapped up and finished, and we're celebrating them. And we have 2 new interns for next year lined up. Kelly McKinney will be supervising a BSW intern next year from ECSU. And Sarah Dufresne will officially be an MSW intern with Mansfield Youth Services for next year while she starts her master's program. So Pat will be her field supervisor to do the licensure level supervision and things like that. And then Sarah will keep being a part of our team for other clinical supervision and things like that. So we're really excited that Sarah is doing that next step in the things that she's already, like the million things that are already in her toolbox, the 1,000,002 things that are already in her toolbox. But she's been amazing, particularly as we've been going through the staffing transition, and it was no surprise that she was accepted to her program, and we're excited that she's doing that thing.
That's good.
We're continuing our counseling services. As soon as our new referrals started to open up with the money coming in, they have filled up very quickly. So we're still kind of doing our best balance between who's got availability, and that gets a little bit easier through the summer, but then you have to make sure we're not overcommitting once the school year hits. So we're trying to be really thoughtful about that, and kind of making sure that whatever we're able to match through the summer, those people will be able to stay matched once the school year starts and we have programs. Larry, I saw your hand.
Yes, thank you. Interesting feature, but do you think we will start the school year at full capacity? Will we have room? I know that's a hard question to answer. Just projecting.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm going to. They know from a very real perspective that position is priority to get filled before the school year starts. As you know, the challenge is we've had a lot of turnover,
Sure.
lots of retirements, and the two big positions right now that they have to focus on filling are the head of planning and development and the assistant finance director position turned over again. So those are 2 probably that are at the top, and our personnel department our HR department is also going through the Munis conversion. And they're doing training that. So their capacity to do recruitments right now is limited, but I mean, they've been really good working with us. What you say, Katie, when we say it's got to be done quickly. I mean, I can't believe how fast they filled Danielle's position.
Larry, I get what you were saying, and yes, there will be
but
openings.
I would want to advocate for that. I think it is a benefit to have that new person start prior to the school year, and I think we all would.
That's
so the new
absolutely
person. The plan as of right now is to have the new person there for a day, keep Kelly's 2 days, have Imani keep a day, and have me have a day. So about 3 of the kids that I'm meeting with will naturally transition out, which will open up my schedule for a good amount of referrals. I think there's going to be about 2 kids on Imani's caseload that would go out, or tentatively, seeing how the summer goes.
1 on Kelly's for school-based.
Yep. And Kelly will probably, she has like 1 or 2 right now. And then the new person would technically come in with a free day, and how they structured that day. And they might pick up 1 or 2 referrals towards the end of the summer, but they would kind of come in with a clean slate to MMS.
Yes, so Larry, our goal is absolutely to have someone there every day.
Yeah, that's
At the
great.
middle school.
And we appreciate that. And it is a need. Well, we also have emerging needs that occur at the start of the year.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's good to hear that we're not starting
Right.
full capacity.
Right.
So
And of
thank-
course, our goal was to be several days a week as well in the elementary school.
Mm.
But that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge because again, we were hoping that
We have
we'd be
two
in one
schools.
school, a
Yep.
little bit more of a challenge, but we'll see how that works out, but that's our eventual goal as well, to have, a couple of regular days in the elementary school.
Cool. I think that's a great idea.
And for the fall, once Sarah's internship starts, she'll be able to take a couple of outpatient clients as well.
Right.
And then depending on when the new person comes in, they would be able to do some after school outpatient stuff. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 discharges that we're anticipating through the summer for the non-school based. So there will hopefully be a few slots, but certainly we are still getting referrals coming in from families, which we actually see a lot from families reaching out this time of year saying, I just realized my kids' primary supports are at school. What am I going to do this summer? So we are getting a lot more family-based referrals this time of year. But we do hope that,
I do
especially
just
with the new
always,
person, that there will be a fair number of openings at the MMS hours.
Thank you.
I do just have to always laugh when Katie talks about outpatient because we're not a clinic, but it's her vocabulary.
Well, I mean, it is the level of care that we
right.
provide.
It's really, it's really more, it's clients, but because we don't have patients, but yes, we have clinical services will be available, for those hours. And we're hoping if we are going to be working some high school students in, that they'll be able to get day passes to come over during the school day, so they wouldn't be filling up all of our after school times, which are, as you know, prime spots for a lot of kids and families. So we
And
will
actually
still
right now, the way EO dismisses, if EO students dismiss and walk right over, we can fit in 1 EO student before the MMS buses
Right.
arrive. It tends
Right.
to be more like a 45-minute session because the MMS bus to the community center has been getting there a lot earlier. But if they were able to kind of get like a 15-minute early dismissal
Right.
pass and leave at 1:55 instead of at 2:15, then we can fit like a full hour with an EO student.
And we will continue to offer virtual if that makes the best sense for families and the clients. So that will continue to happen.
It'll be an evolving thing of excitement to be able to expand those services and not have to say goodbye to our kiddos at such a rigid level of
Right.
when we have to kind of launch them to something else, which we like because we want to stay with them. We love them. We want to keep them forever kind of thing.
Mhm.
No, and I actually, going along with that, was able to start a high school volunteer program for the summer. So we're already kind of starting to bridge that gap, which is huge. So that will be a really neat program once this new social worker comes on to kind of hand over to them. And it's this thing that's already there. It's already in existence and it's already gaining a lot of popularity. So
Mhm.
That sounds good. Yeah, anything else,
So
Katie?
other wrap up things, all of our groups are now officially wrapped for the year. We did our last My Voice group back in May, just before we had the premiere event that I know several of you were able to attend, and it was lovely to have you and to showcase the public service announcement works that our kids did this year, both the very serious and very well thought out and for realsy, and then just the silliness, because sometimes the silliness is what lands for our youth. So we're excited to have that broad range of prevention messaging able to go out alongside with that. As we get ready to kind of start premiering some of those a little bit broader, we were able to finish up our LPC grant spending, our local prevention council grant spending, purchasing some locking medication pouches this year, which were a little bit easier to navigate than the giant lock boxes we've done in the past. And we even were able to customize them with a safe storage message that aligns with the public service announcement that our kids put out this past year. So it says safe storage. Your toddler might make a mistake. Your teen might make a decision, because that's really the importance of safe storage, whether we're talking about opioid medications, ADHD stimulant medications with abuse potential, or especially recognizing that in the state of Connecticut, adult use cannabis is now legal, and we are going to be seeing, anticipating an increase of availability for that as the commercial establishments figure out their regulations and bylaws. So we want to make sure that as the world is changing, that our families are keeping up with the safety and prevention to keep our youth safe, knowing that it's 21 for a reason. And so we're just continuing to work with our grantors at CRAC for that. So we're really excited to be able to get those in this year, and then we'll be coming up with a plan for distribution of them, whether it's in the summer months or whether it's probably something around Celebrate Mansfield time that we'll be giving out to the larger community. But certainly would become something available if families asked about it, or particularly in, the WAM-RTD, if we were to get a referral. We're hoping to avert the referrals for THC gummies in school, which is the reality of where a lot of towns are seeing the trends go. So we're hoping to avert that by getting those out pretty early in the school year as we're coming up. And then we also finished up our My Pride group. They had a great last session in June. Sorry, Larry, if your back sidewalk is a little bit colorful.
Yeah.
They were able to tie-dye their specialty program shirts that were designed by the group. And I was told I have a typo on the back. I flipped the B and the T in LGBTQIA plus, right? So I've now just declared they're a very limited edition special variant. But they had a great time doing that. And Sarah was awesome in helping me do tie-dye with like 15 middle schoolers, which is just a wild time. But they love it. We love it. We love them. And they were able to wear their shirts to celebrate Pride, which was just an amazing event. Technically it's June, but I'm going to tell you that it was amazing. We had somewhere between 175 to 200 folks, and it was such a joy to do. And just to see how happy it just made everybody, like the whole community was there. Like Greg Haddad was there, May Flexer was there, Ryan was there, but most importantly, the kids and families were there. And that's what we were there for.
And one of the things that I'd like to share about that is I was expecting to get more negative feedback. And we only had one person who didn't, it was really more expressed a concern. And Katie handled that very well. So that speaks well to kind of where having done this now for 3 years, where the community has gotten more messaging before we went to this place with the downtown celebration. So I was very pleased by the community response, and not only the acceptance, but the ability for the whole community to really celebrate was, an accomplishment as well. That has not happened in a lot of other communities. I can tell you, talking with counterparts and a lot of the pushback that they got, and even just talking about raising a flag or giving out flags, let alone.
I noticed when just driving around town, all the flags. It's nice.
It's awesome. My sister came down from New Hampshire last year, and she lives in the woods in New Hampshire. And she was just like, why are there all these flags here? And I was like, because our town's awesome. I was like, that's why. I was like, every road.
And it's library, it's the senior center. I mean, we've been doing a whole host of activities at the senior center, which have been very well received there. I mean, it's just, and if you talk to anybody that picked up the flags, especially from the communities, they were so happy that this was happening in their town. 2 new residents stopped over at the senior center. And I can't even begin to tell you how happy, they had no idea what was going on, how happy they were to pick up those flags and be told all the things that were going on in town. It was great.
It was a nice job. Very nice. Okay, so
I was appreciative of all the help that we got with it, and the YSB team was amazing. We had a great crew of volunteers come out as well. Henry's not on the call, but he helped with setup, and he helps with everything. Henry just helps with everything. So it was a really great experience. And we even at the flag raising got coverage from Fox 61 News.
Mhm.
And
Isn't that
like,
interesting?
my-
Fox. Fox covered it.
and
Yeah.
my messaging around why we do this is consistent. It is, we do this so that everybody knows they're welcome here. And we do this because we know that it's suicide prevention. We know that young people, if
Mhm.
they are growing up in homes that aren't affirming, that aren't accepting, that if they see their community accepts them, they are less at risk, they are more resilient, and they can find their people and connect to their people. But we also see that it helps to create and generate that acceptance in homes
Right.
for our kids, and to kind of better understand that our kids don't always fit into boxes that we thought they did. And that's a great thing. We get to learn about it. We get to celebrate it. And so it's just been amazing to do that. And to have this event kind of come to culmination this year.
Mhm.
So it
Great.
is a great thing. We also wrapped up our police mentoring program, and we're able to get permission from MMS and use some of our YSB enhancement grant funding to take our crew of big personalities over to the adventure park and stores, and they got to go zip lining with Joe the policeman. And like, who gets to say that other than like Mansfield?
Yeah.
To be able to have that time to, even challenge their perceptions of being scared. And like, it's okay to be scared. Like you're not wrong for being scared. You can be scared and excited at the same time. It can be a good kind of scared, and you don't always need to be blustery. You don't always need to be big. You can be in touch with all sorts of different emotions and have different sides of you. You don't have to be the tough kid. Like you can enjoy things, and you can have fun, and you can laugh, and you can, acknowledge that it's scary to go across a zip line for the first time, and to challenge yourself, and how great that is for our kids who maybe are afraid to show cracks in the facade. So that was a really great thing to be able to do. Joe came up with that idea, and the middle school helped us make it happen. And it was just a really fun day to be able to do. No new RDT cases in the month of May or June so far. So, I mean, that is a good thing. And they still know we're here. Some things have come up where the troopers have, talked with some incidents that have come up and offered the diversion, but it didn't end up needing to kind of go to that level. So our troopers are supportive of that diversion program, which is so huge, because if you don't have local trooper buy-in, you don't get cases. So it was really nice to hear that the troopers are very supportive of that, and wanting to help shift kids towards that over the juvenile court process. And last but not least, we've been very, very busy. We helped MMS put together a really cool school-wide challenge called the Make Tracks Challenge, that really we generated with the counseling team back, I think, in our April meeting with MMS crew, to kind of talk about how can we help rally kind of the end of the year support for positive behaviors, pro-social behaviors at school. And so the middle school during their SBAC weeks put the challenge out to their students to see what can you do to model roadrunner behavior, and to make your roadrunner tracks, to build that positive school climate, that positive school culture. And we were really excited to have that partnership with the middle school. So as part of that, the 5th grade was the grade that was successful in achieving their goal. So they will be having Yukon Dairy Bar ice cream truck arrive later this week, that we're helping the middle school to support in honor of the work that they've done. So we were really excited to be a part of the first pilot Make Tracks Challenge. It was a really nice partnership to be able to do. So thanks, Larry.
Thank you, guys. That was great.
You have anything
And
else?
I think that's the end of my list.
Oh, sorry.
I said, I think that's the end of my list.
Okay. Is there any old business? Any new business? Any
So
other
our new
business?
business is we're doing summer recruitment.
Yeah.
Mustangs is at capacity within like the first 2 days. We're a
Wow.
little bit slower with getting the goal recruitment going, just because it was really challenging to nail down our ropes course for the summer, because our Manchester partners have a lot of repairs they were ending up doing, but we were able to book out a day with the Newington Youth Service Bureau's ropes course. So we're in process for doing that organization for the Great Outdoor Adventure Learning Program. We're kind of frustrated and bummed a little bit that we have to do it the same day as Mustangs because of transportation issues, and sharing with Parks and Rec this year, which means there's some kids who like have to choose, and choosing is hard. And I kind of accept that Mustangs tends to win because it's twice as many of them. But we're hoping that next year, once we do have our own van that has been approved, that we'll have a much easier time of co-running our programs in more offset ways. Sarah did already mention the new program that she is spearheading. She and Kelly McKenney are going to be doing some volunteer work on Fridays with high school students in the Covenant Soup Kitchen, because that was really their day with the biggest needs, and their schedules and flexibility allow for being able to connect those high school students to some volunteer work, which was really exciting to be able to add this summer. Kelly is also getting to finalize some social skills groups again through the summer. She ran some of those last year. So we're hoping to partner with the schools and doing some recruitment for students who are participating in summer school or not participating in summer school in camps. So those are going to be geared towards a younger crew of kids. And then this summer, we will also be putting some family fun game night at the dinner table kind of events together. So we'll be posting those throughout the summer on our Facebook page and through our magic that is the community update that Sarah Dufresne is up to, like probably over 300 people for. So we will be getting the word out as we finalize those details to stay connected through the summer. And we do have one last kickoff to summer event, which is the take and bake pizza party that is drive-through style happening on June 24th with our Pizza 101. Am I getting it right? With Pizza 101 over in
So
Coventry.
it's a Mansfield family, but they own a restaurant in Pomfret, but they make these pizza kits every year. We give them a number, usually they do about 150, and families get to take them home for free and make the pizza. And one change we did this year is we let each child get their own pizza. So we used to do it one pizza for a family of 4, but now we're like, nope, let all the kids have fun, make the pizza. And that was another thing that filled up within like the first week. I think we have like 12 tickets left for that, but it is neat. It's well received. We actually had a local woman who volunteered to deliver pizza kits, and she just was like, I loved this so much last year. I want to deliver them to families who can't get them. And it's neat. It's all the things I love about this job.
Good. Sounds good. Is there any other business?
I think I'm actually out of things to say for once.
Okay, and there's any public comment?
We have not received any public comment.
Okay, great. Our next meeting will not be until September 13th. So you all have the summer off. And I'll entertain a motion adjournment so you guys can go play with the kids. With the middle school. So,
Motion to adjourn?
all right,
I'll
second it.
all right. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice summer.
Thank you.
Thank you
everyone.
all.
Bye-bye. Yep. Pat, hang on a minute, okay? Yep, I lost her. Oh, well. See you all.
All right.